are the dustiest, the winds are the gustiest, the gates are the rustiest, the pies are the crustiest, the songs the lustiest, the friends the trustiest.
In the 1960s, brothers Tom and James Monahan borrowed $900 in order to purchase a small local pizza chain in Ypsilanti, Michigan called Dominos. The name for this pizza chain comes from the name of the original owner, Dominic DeVarty. Once the brothers fully acquired the pizza chain, Tom and James planned to split the work hours evenly. James was already working a full-time job as a postman and didn't have any plans on quitting his current job anytime soon. Not long after acquiring the pizza chain, James began to feel fatigued from working his full-time job while also trying to keep up with the demands of him and his brother's new business. Within 8 months, James traded his half of the business to his brother Tom for the Volkswagen Beetle they used to deliver pizzas.
Hello. You know, when you fix an Italian food, everything has got to be just perfect. Especially when you're making a pizza. I'm going to show you. Looks good? You betcha my life. And it's delicious. That's the pizza you get at the theater. So hurry up. Get yourself some.
In 1965, Tom would acquire 2 more pizzerias. This would bring him with a total of 3 pizzerias in the same county. Tom wanted the 3 stores to share the same branding, but the original owner forbid him from using Dominic's name. One day, an employee returned from a pizza delivery and suggested to Tom that he should name the 3 pizzerias Dominos. Tom immediately loved this idea and officially renamed his business Domino's Pizza Inc. in 1965.
When we started out, the first store was called Dominic's, and owned by a guy by the name of Dominic DeVarty. And we bought this store from Dominic, and Dominic gave us permission to use the name. After a couple of years, my store in Ypsilanti became probably the busiest pizzeria in the whole state of Michigan. I got a call from Dominic one day, and he said, "You can't use my name anymore." And so it was kind of a panic, and we were thinking about different names to call it. And one day, a driver came in from a delivery, and he shouts out, "I got her new name, Domino's." I says, "That's great. That's a great name."
The company's logo originally had 3 dots, representing the 3 original stores that Tom owned in Michigan in 1965. Tom planned to add a new dot with the addition of every new store he bought, but this idea quickly faded as Domino's experienced a rapid growth. Domino's Pizza opened its first franchise location in 1967, and by the late 70s, the company expanded to 200 stores.
This is a Domino's Pizza store, a store of pizza specialists. Pizza is the only thing Domino's Pizza makes. It enables them to do it right, starting with the freshest ingredients. Nothing is ever frozen, dehydrated, processed, or powdered. It's a wholesome, nutritious meal in itself. For hot, friendly, fast delivery, call Domino's Pizza.
Check your Yellow Pages directory for the Domino's Pizza store near you, limited delivery area.
In 1986, the BBDO advertising agency, led by Ernie Parrish, were tasked with creating a mascot for Domino's. The first early incarnations of the Noid were several goblin-like creatures that Ernie Parrish and his advertising team designed. Eventually, the final design became a humanoid creature in a red jumpsuit with an N insignia on his chest with rabbit-like ears. A Domino's commercial featuring the Noid came out the same year.
Have you ever been frustrated because the Noid ruined your pizza? The Noid loves to ruin pizza. Call Domino's Pizza. We avoid the Noid. We keep the Noid out and all this quality in. Taste the quality. Domino's Pizza delivers in less than 30 minutes.
The commercial was done in claymation, which was created by Vinton Studios. The Noid's reckless behavior was inspired by the reckless driving of the delivery drivers from Domino's older 30 minutes or less advertising campaign.
Domino's Pizza delivers 30 minutes fast and free. Domino's Pizza delivers
After Domino's unveiled the mischievous, rabbit-eared gremlin called the Noid, the character quickly became famous, appearing in TV shows like The Simpsons.
Look, it's a Noid. Avoid the Noid. He ruins pizzas.
Having a mini comic book series, the Noid was even given 2 video games, Avoid the Noid for the Commodore 64 and Yo Noid for the NES. The Yo Noid video game also introduced a green color variant of the Noid named Mr. Green, who served as an antagonist for the Noid. The Noid was even in Michael Jackson's Speed Demon video. The Noid was even planned to have his very own Saturday morning cartoon series for CBS, but this idea was later scrapped since the cartoon felt more like an advertising ploy to bring up Domino's numbers than the actual series. On January 30th, a 22-year-old man named Kenneth Noid walked into a Domino's pizza chain with a revolver and took 2 employees hostage after a 5-hour standoff, during which Kenneth Noid demanded $100,000 in ransom money and a white limousine as getaway transportation.
I want $100K in a clear pasta bag.
What address are you at?
Yep.
What's your name?
It's irrelevant.
It's
All you need
irrelevant?
to know is I need my money. I need my money delivered by one unarmed officer. Otherwise, I'll kill everybody.
Kenneth Noid offered to exchange one of the hostages for a copy of the book novel Widow's Son, but Kenneth Noid went back on his word as soon as the police officer brought him the book that he wanted. Eventually, Kenneth Noid became hungry and forced the employees to make him 2 pizzas. While Kenneth Noid continued to eat the pizzas, this gave the 2 hostages enough time to escape. Kenneth Noid was soon surrendered to the police shortly after. Kenneth Noid was charged with kidnapping, aggravated assault, extortion, and possession of a firearm during the crime. He was found not guilty by reasons of insanity, but was ordered to undergo psychiatric evaluation. It turns out that Kenneth Noid actually believed that he was the Noid, or at least the Noid's original inspiration. A paranoid schizophrenic Kenneth Noid believed that Domino's founder Tom Monahan had created the Avoid the Noid campaign specifically to mock him. Kenneth Noid would spend several months in a mental asylum. A couple of years later, Kenneth Noid would take his own life. Domino's had no choice but to discontinue the mascot due to the black cloud left over the character by this incident. The Noid wouldn't appear again until 20 years later with a couple of brief cameos.
Perhaps it was the Noid who should have avoided me.